Okay, and your underlying energy is the King of Pentacles. What's underneath here? Ace of Wands, starting something fresh, starting something new, taking action based off of your commitments. Definitely got some committed energy here to double Taurian energy. You got King of Pentacles in the Hierophant, but you also got Virgo and Capricorn in that, but as well as double Capricorn if you're going to count the King of Pentacles in the double. But already what I'm seeing here is that you guys are definitely looking to move forward in your relationships, make positive strides towards building something, building an actual stable relationship together, building something that could potentially grow to be a family, leading on a legacy. There's something that's definitely tying you two together. And I know I read these as love readings, and this could be like just a friend, but this could also indicate friendships too, right? You could just focus on the friendship, how much you're dedicated to building a stable ground, a stable bond, a stable, just a bond period with your friend that honestly can go lifetimes. That you guys can grow old together and still crack up about somebody ripping a new one or something, whatever. But with wedding here, it definitely talks about a tie, a bond, a connection that is totally inseparable. And you got 3 cards in here that you got 4 cards in here that tell me that there is definitely a connection, there's a bond, and then there's commitment. 5, if we're gonna count 5. But one thing I love the most is that somebody has a lighthearted approach to it while somebody's taking a very serious approach to it. A very serious, like, this is my soulmate set of attitude. And I don't know if that's necessarily the healthiest way to go about it, because it can, bulk things up. It can make things a little stuffy, and not really have a lot of fun because someone's taking the relationship so seriously and so practically. And I think that this person on the other side here, that person that's showing that there's going to be a lot of fun, growing the relationship, spending time together, being in the moment, I think that they know that wherever their heart leads, it can lead them to marriage, and they're not worried about it. While someone else is very focused on, let's tie it up, let's tie the knot, let's tie the knot. You know what I'm saying? So, go ahead and pick the side that resonates with y'all the most. No side is the wrong side here. But please remember, though, that once you pick your side, the other side is going to be representing your soulmate. So, getting into this, we're going to start with this person here. This person has the Lovers as the mindset of, going into the relationship. So they already feel like this person's a soulmate. They're already accepting that they are in love with this person. I like this energy. I like this card here for this person's mindset. So they already are aware that there's a connection. They're already aware that there's a bond between them, and they like it. They feel it. They're in love with it, I think. It can probably cause them a lot of burdens, though. They may be feeling like overburdened with responsibilities and stuff, or just feeling overburdened with the idea of being in a relationship, or being so, feeling so much for a person like this. But at the same time, I think it is, in a way, liberating, because this is something that honestly they have to figure out what they're carrying with them with this relationship and how to put them down. And I think this person is definitely the key to do that, because this person is going into this relationship as the Knight of Wands. Now, I know what you're thinking. This person is a player coming into this. And I don't think so. I think the person is very much in the moment. They're not thinking about the commitment. They're not thinking about getting married in the future. They're not thinking about having kids or having a white picket fence or a house like that. They're enjoying you as a person at the moment, in the moment. They're not thinking ahead. So it's not a bad thing. But I feel like somebody's ready to settle down, and the burden is that this person here may not be, trying to initiate any of that kind of commitment stuff. I think they're thinking, I think they're enjoying the situation, they're being in the moment with it, but they're not trying to settle down. They're not trying to settle down because they already feel committed to you. They already feel like they're in a relationship with you. And the reason why I say that is because of the devil. Because you can't have freedom and fun and happiness and have the devil in the present, right? Because it can either mean 2 things. And I'm going to tell you the first one, which I want to believe for what it is, personally. But again, as a reader, I got to read it another way because it may not resonate with a lot of people. Now, how I would think this is going is that this person feels like this is fun. They're enjoying their time with you. They're really passionate in the moment with you as well. But they also feel tied to you, like they feel connected. Like they feel like you guys are inseparable, and that's beautiful, right? That's a beautiful thing. Of course, right? There's a lot of sex involved. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of intimacy. So I like that too. You guys are connecting in a very intimate way as well. When the King of Pentacles come up in this with the Ace of Wands, bam, that makes a lot of sense too. And if this is an X2 that's coming back around, it makes a lot more sense as well. Because they have that chemistry is pretty much really established. And the time that you guys had apart maybe made this person or helped this person realize the connection that you had was definitely a stronger one than they realized when they left it. So I do feel like this is all there. At the same time, for those of you that may not think that, or may not, who may be reading for this side and they're, they're looking and they're not resonating with that message, there's another message in this. But this person may desire freedom, may desire to be out in the open and have fun, be the bachelor again, or bachelorette, or whatever, right? I don't think that they necessarily want to settle down at this moment. But I don't think they're opposed to the idea. I think they're all about their freedom. They're all about enjoying the moment as time flies by, doing their own thing, not really thinking about settling down. But the way that they're presenting themselves in the present is that they're the devil. They're attached. They feel like they're trapped here, or they could be seeing like they're kind of stuck in the situation, or they kind of are. Let's just say they're allowing for situations to be the way they are because they're situations that are being taken care of for them, which is probably why the other person has the 10 of Wands here. They may feel like there's a beautiful connection, and there's no doubting that. There's no saying that this isn't true for that person, because if this is how they feel, this is how they feel. 2 of Cups, the lovers, that's powerful right there. This person's definitely resonating with the soulmate energy, but they're bogged down with responsibilities and commitments. Hopefully this person is not doing this person's laundry, or, taking out the trash, making sure they clean their apartment, whatever, doing things that they wouldn't do for, they wouldn't do for anybody else, right? That they could barely do for themselves, but because they love the person, they're taking care of them. Or they find that they're carrying most of the relationship, even though this person is like, yeah, I'm in love with you, yeah, I'm all this, but they're not taking any of the responsibility. So it's not necessarily, I don't feel like it's a toxic relationship, but I do feel like there is there's a dynamic here where, there could be that there's somebody's like, not necessarily taking advantage of the other person, but definitely chilling when they probably don't need to. And here's the thing too, like a third thing. They may be free to do all this stuff, open to help, open to do all these things, but somebody's willing to take on all the work because they're in love or something, or, they feel like that's their role to handle everything, when that may not be healthy for even this person either, right? They're able to, be free and to do all these things, not because they necessarily want to, or they just keep passing the work to someone else, but that they're not allowed to be able to give, they're not allowed to be able to put anything in the relationship, which does tend to make the relationship unstable. So there's a lot of things going on here, but I feel like most importantly though, that the relationship definitely has a tie between both of you. Not that, it's in the worst cases that this person may desire freedom or desire to be, not necessarily coddled and just do things fun. And I don't think that this is necessarily everyone. I think it's going to resonate for very few of you. I feel like it's more of this person feels like this is a really good time. This relationship is great. This is a brand new beginning. There's a lot of shooting the shit. There's a lot of fun, not a lot of seriousness. But this other person here is very focused on the relationship. All relationship-wise. Everything relationship-wise. And it's becoming a lot on their plate because all they're focusing on is the relationship, moving up, the relationship. And I don't know if it's necessarily being in the present. Because how this person is showing here too is very similar to the devil. Not that they feel trapped, but they feel connected. They feel tied. Because the lovers and the devil, they're 2 sides of the same coin. And they both can represent two people being in a relationship, being in love, being connected with one another, but they're different versions, right? Because this is loving somebody with the freedom to love somebody openly and understanding that, there's nothing keeping you from being able to love each other further. So I think this is really weird. Here's the thing. I feel like this person is very spiritual, open-minded, spiritual, and open in the sense of like doing the things that they want to do, being free and having their own space, but they feel suffocated in a way. They feel like they're really tied to you now, or feel very tied to the other person, depending on whoever this person is. Now, at the same time, though, this person may not feel like they have enough time with them. They feel like maybe they're too busy, and that the space and the time away from each other is too much. So the dynamic, it's a little off a little bit, seems like how much this person would desire to be with this person versus how much this person would probably just rather just go out and have fun and have, and enjoy life together versus just spending exclusive time with each other. Because that's what I feel like. I think this person's like the life of the party, still trying to enjoy life, not necessarily trying to settle down, because I do feel like this person already feels like you guys are in a committed relationship. This person already feels very tied to you. Not in the sense of like, oh my God, I can't breathe, I'm suffocated, but more of like, I am in a relationship with this person. This person's my person. I can't imagine a life without this person. But I don't need to establish that. I don't need to say that. I don't need to constantly go out of my way to be with this person because I know that they're mine. But that doesn't mean, right, that this works for you or this works for the other person. They're going to have to communicate that they need more time together if this isn't enough. And they have to communicate if this is just too much time together, right? If this is too, claustrophobic or whatever. Because here what brings us down now to the understanding of where everyone's coming from. We have the Ten of Wands here for this person. I know you're like, well, you skipped the Two of Cups. Not really. This person feels the same way as they do. They feel tied. They feel connected. The Two of Cups is about feeling something the same way as the other person. You guys are vibing the same vibe, and I really feel like both of you guys are feeling connected to each other. The other stuff, that's for very rare occasions. As like I said, I can't tell you guys to stress enough that, this person wanting freedom, that may not be you, that may not be your situation. Please apply that where it's appropriate. But I feel like you guys are connected. You feel like you guys are married already. You guys feel like you're already attached. But you guys go about it a different way, and you guys go about expressing your love a different way. Some of you guys may desire certain things, certain different things that you may end up needing to work on, creating a better balance on. Because this person feels 10 of Wands, burdened over, not suffocated, but they got a lot on their plate, feeling that they're carrying a heavy load, like maybe they feel like they're carrying the relationship, perhaps. But the reason why they feel this way is because they did leave behind the burdens. They did drop everything. They did allow themselves to just start something new and open their hearts again. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean that this person is currently bogged down with responsibilities, commitments. They feel overwhelmed. It could be that they have just finally realize what burdens they're carrying and are able to love and be in the moment with the relationship too, right? Now, this person here, the reason why they're just chilling and having a good time is because the Page of Wands talks about not really taking things very seriously, having a good time, having fun, starting a new adventure. And I think they're able to relax and, be carefree, be youthful, have fun, not really take the relationship seriously, not because they don't see the relationship as serious, but more as they are able to just be relaxed and just have fun and just enjoy the connection. They're able to just be themselves and truly be, follow their heart and do the things that they want to do with you without having to worry about, is this going to upset her? Is not going to work? There's no seriousness attached to this where someone's going to be uncomfortable. There's actually a lot of fun from this person. There's a lot of, vibrancy, a lot of energy being put in the relationship. And this vibrancy can honestly, with this person's, love and this connection this person's feeling, it really can add some really beautiful vibes. So what brought you two together was the Hierophant. So structure, commitment. I feel like you guys definitely changed each other's lives, changed each other's way of seeing the world and your own, platform of doing things, your own structure, your own belief system. you guys were different than the normal kind. I think you guys met each other, and you guys weren't your typical people that you go after. This person may have been completely different. This person could have been completely the same. But I feel like mostly you guys definitely looked for somebody that was willing to stabilize, really willing to commit, and willing to, be solid with you. I don't think this was some flake that you dated, and I think that's why I'm like, for some of you guys, it may be that this person is trying to find their own freedom because they need to have their own commitment, right? They need to find their own, their own structure, their own, routine in their own lives, where they can truly, stand on their own 2 feet and commit to themselves, because they can't commit to anybody if they can't commit to themselves. But that's just me, right? But the challenge that y'all face is the Ace of Cups, starting something new, starting a new emotional beginning together, and being together, and being emotionally open together. Now, another thing, considering that the Ace of Cups is the challenge, there may be a situation where this person may be totally shooting the shit, having a good time, not really, taking things seriously, because they don't want to become too emotionally attached, or they're trying to detach, but they're emotionally, like, they're connected to you, and the way that they show that they care is by showing that they don't. It's really weird. It's like one of those. It's like the kid at the playground. If the kid smacks the other, that other kid, it must mean that they like them, right? They're always hitting them, always making fun of them. There's something there. There's something that connects them to, and it's like they like that person, but they just don't know how to do it, know how to say it without, exposing how they feel. And this is about awakening the emotional aspect of the human being, of the part of ourselves that obviously has emotions, right? The cups. So this may be that this person could be clinging to, old habits, could be clinging to old ways of behaving, doing things that maybe, that may look a little suspicious, but they probably aren't. I don't see any third party situation with that. It may just be habits that may not be very beneficial, self-centered, things like that in nature, because they're afraid to actually delve deep. Maybe they're clinging onto all those old behaviors to remind them of their freedom, when nobody actually loses their identity in a relationship. That's a myth. That is not true. You do not become one entity when you connect with somebody. And I think that's another thing with this person. That's probably what I was feeling. And I feel like what they have to understand is that everybody is independent. Everybody's their own person, no matter what their relationship is, no matter how far in, no matter what's going on. You're your own individual person. I feel like this person's probably acting out because they don't want to just become one person. They want to still be themselves. But I think, at the same time, they just need to understand that that's never going to go away. The reason why you're with them is because they are who they are, not because who you want them to be. And I think this person over here is already connecting with this person. I think at the same time, this person may be doing the same thing, because of the Two of Cups. To me, like I say all the time, guys, Two of Cups for me is like a mirror. So if the person already is kind of clinging back to old behaviors and old habits, which is why the Ten of Wands is coming up, right? They're doing that too, because they're having to trust that their love means something, right? They're having to learn to trust and put their heart in this in a relationship, in this person, and what they believe is something that they deserve to, that they love, right? You are lovable, right? Remember, you deserve love. So I feel like maybe everybody here is clinging onto old patterns and behaviors, or in just trying to like still be the person that they need to be, or feel independent, still feel like they're standing on their own, not needing or depending on everybody, but they really want to fall in love and be open with the person. And it's hard because of everything that they've been through, but that's the challenge: being open and being emotionally open with each other. Because it takes practice, it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. And I think with the King of Pentacles showing up here, with the Pentacles coming up, period, shows that, yeah, this is going to take time to open up, to really be, comfortable with each other. Because this stuff don't happen overnight. So let's go ahead and see what y'all got. Oh, have patience. I love it. So lovely. I love it. Love is patient and kind, always. Love is patient and kind always. I love it. So, yeah, guys, this is a growing process. This is something that's beautiful, romantic, sweet, and full of adventure and exciting stuff. I don't see anything bad, really. I really don't. This is a beautiful connection. It's a beautiful relationship. And it can only get better from here as long as you both have patience with yourselves and with each other.